When you consider their incredible fuel economy, their legendary reliability, and their unmatched value, it's easy to see why San Diego has fallen in like with the new Hondas.
Hi, I'm Mike Peterson. If you like friendly service, you'll like Tipton Honda, a dealer for the people. We're off Interstate 8 in El Cajon.
This episode was made possible by Qualcomm. Qualcomm celebrates Southern California's most innovative thinkers. To learn more about the entrepreneurial ideas and bold imaginations that drive the future of digital communications, visit Qualcomm.com.
Today, Bob Hurley runs Hurley International, which is a world-renowned brand. Through his expertise in the surf market, he's been able to maintain the company's status as a trendsetter in an evolving industry.
Yeah, so a long time ago, there was a guy named Bob Hurley, that's me, that was working in factories and going to school and part-time as a waiter with kids. I didn't like the factory piece of it because almost every day I chopped my arm off. Then we started Hurley surfboards, thinking that would be cool, and it was super fun, but then realized no money. And we got lucky and stumbled upon Billabong, and we got to import that into the US. That was really fun. Then we became the licensee, and then that turned into real business. Like, whoa, we're competing with Quicksilver. This is crazy. Then in '98, we gave Billabong back. We had the US license. It wasn't our company because we had a different vision. Microphone for youth, inclusion versus exclusion. Those were our big ideas. And then Hurley was very successful.
To me, Hurley represents my lifestyle. It's what I know. It's part of my blood. You know, this is a thing that's more than an apparel company for me. It's an idea. It's a place to create. It's a promise for the future, and the people that wear Hurley, you know, range in all walks of life. And when we started the brand, it was focused on inclusion, and it wasn't exclusive. We're a surf company, and what we do is cool. And if you aren't part of that, you're not cool, which was sort of the mind state of the industry at the time. But when we started the brand, it was around, you know, when Vans Warped Tour was starting. So there was kids that were skaters, surfers, musicians, artists, all kind of coming together and sharing a common consciousness and just sharing. And hopefully, you know, our demographic will dictate something like that, where it's a grasp onto an idea. So I think the demographic, you know, can swing based on whoever relates to that idea. You know, we try not to pigeonhole into an aesthetic. You know, we're an inclusive brand rooted in innovation and surf.
When I started shaping surfboards, I became fascinated with innovation. I always rejected the status quo ever since I was a little kid. You know, I was 5 years old. I never believed in the way things were. I always believed in the way they could be. So when I was making surfboards, a couple of athletes that were world champion surfers gave me a break. One is Rabbit Bartholomew, 1978 world champ, and one was Peter Townend, 1976 world champ. They came to Huntington Beach and they gave me a break. They said, hey, we want you to make our boards. And I said, I'm a kook, I can't make your boards. And they had a bunch of ideas, and our mantra was lighter, faster, more flexible. Very innovative. Our boards were 15% lighter than other people's. They won contests on them. And that was a big learning. Like, oh, innovation's fun, and innovation builds business. So that's one thing I took away from the Billabong experience and the surfboard experience, I think, to start the new brand Hurley in '99 was like, you've got to innovate or you're pretty much dead. Like, nobody just wants stuff. They want innovative stuff.
I think our separator really from other companies is innovation. And you can debate cool, you can debate authentic, all those things, you know, are debatable, but innovation is pretty undeniable. A big separator as well is the thought around we're not an apparel company, you know, we're an ideas company. And an apparel is one medium that our consumers and kids can connect with what we do. And this idea company, is really anytime we've been successful. You think of, when we started the brand, it was based on an idea. Clothing was a connection to that. Our events, are an idea that surf events can be better. We can take care of the athletes and showcase them in a way, to innovate the sport of surfing and connect them to fans in a way never done before.
Then we partnered with Nike in 2002. We cold called Nike and said, hey, we need to work together, because bringing the world's best sports company with the consumers and the athletes we love just seemed like a good idea. Early 90s, a bunch of our friends that weren't totally into surfing, but that were very like-minded, started meeting people, and I wanted to serve them as a manufacturer with our brand Billabong, right? So over the next 8 years, we kind of evolved into like, we're following the consumer. We're not going to be an exclusive company. We don't think we're cool because we surf. We don't think people are lame because they don't surf. We want to invite everybody to the party. So we wanted to have a very inclusive company that served the needs of teenagers. The way it evolved was quite interesting. A lot of friends in bands formed our opinions. A lot of athletes formed our opinions, surfers and skaters and snowboarders. And the team here at Billabong at the time was feeling differently than what was true to the Billabong brand. Billabong was only a surfer knows the feeling. We love surfing, but we were forming a consciousness here that we felt was more in step with the kid in '98, which, if you recall, that was before MySpace, YouTube, and Google. And we were feeling all that stuff, and we didn't know how to articulate it, but we knew there was a better, brighter future out there, and we just really wanted to follow the kids. So we started the brand, and we did everything different than we had in the past. Everything was innovative, everything was pretty expensive, everything was true to the consumer. We sort of disregarded the common wisdom in the retailer landscape. We didn't really take their opinions or care about them because we only cared about the kid. And that's why we had such huge success.
I have hopes of what people connect to our brand with and what I connect to it with. And what some people around here connect to it. Our job is to get that belief out there. So, inclusion, innovation, positivity, creativity. I think uniting the youth. Our mantra is a microphone for youth. So if people connect to those things, we're doing our jobs properly. Microphone for Youth really was at the core of my dad's ideals when he started this brand to really follow the kids. He saw them doing something different. So when you think about giving new entrepreneurs or artists or musicians or people that need a stage that don't necessarily have the opportunity to get it, we can help provide that. And our summer internship program at a company of 200 people, we have 50 interns, which can be massively disruptive, is one of the coolest things we do, because we get, real live information from kids on the street solving big problems here at the company, not just getting coffee and making copies. They're tasked with big challenges. We actually do it. We also do another thing called Walk the Walk, which is a high school fashion show competition. It's giving a stage to people that might not necessarily get the opportunity. We have a music studio here that people come and record at, skate park. You think of like blank canvas or music studio or empty stage, it's the more we can facilitate that vision for the future leaders of this planet, the more relevant we become.
What separates Hurley from its competition, I think, is people in general, and I think there's just a really great group of people involved in Hurley and in making it what it is internally and externally. Like the people that we've got behind on an external facet have been great ambassadors for the brand. We've had them for a long time and have helped grow the brand in the public side, and the people working internally at Hurley have done an incredible job at hiring and bringing in the right people to forge the path and to continue to grow. And also on top of that, it's products, and Hurley makes the best board short. And that's a thing that Hurley really stands for, is product, and our board shorts are the best in the market.
Staying relevant is difficult for a company in any industry, but it's the most difficult in the apparel business. Through innovation and creativity, Hurley has produced the Phantom board short, which has become a must for any surfer.
The stretch component of the fabric is incredible. The comfort level that you get out of those board shorts is phenomenal, and that really works into, you know, how it's also cut and utilized in the board short is allows the surfer to have all the freedom and capability. It basically feels like you're wearing nothing at all. So that's kind of weird sometimes, because you're like, oh wow, this is like I'm surfing naked. But you get, I mean, when I first put on a pair of Phantoms, I was blown away. Like when I first started working over here, I wore the Phantoms. Like, okay, now I really get it. I mean, I understood it through advertising. I like, yeah, okay, you know, I've heard from other people, but until you really wear it, that's when you become a total believer and understand the power of the Phantom fabric. Consumers value Hurley most because of product, and you know, we're very product specific, and we do a great job at developing great products, and everything from the board shorts to the knits and wovens and our pants. In our industry and at large, we have some of the greatest product on the floor in any store. So I think that's probably the one thing that our consumers can value the most, because at the end of the day, they're buying something that they're going to wear.
In order to keep the business thriving into our future, some areas of focus for me and for our company will definitely be, innovation is our separator. So the further we accelerate that and make meaningful products and provide meaningful solutions to those products, through different mediums and innovation from a sustainability standpoint, it's getting cleaner and smarter about how we create goods, innovation from just intelligence within products, and then digital is a big piece of that as well, and then point of purchase. So everywhere that you touch and feel the brand, there's an element of something new and fresh, and making the complex simple. Like the more simple and clear we get as a brand, and the more open-minded we are about where the future's going, will sort of dictate the outcome of our future.
So Hurley's changed a lot since it started, and I'm happy to say it's back to where it was. When we started, we had a distinct reason for being. We had a concept of microfoam for youth. We were from Huntington Beach. We were a hardcore surf brand that was sort of for everybody. And then somewhere along the way, about 3 years after we were quite successful, we got a little bit distracted as we grew. We partnered with Nike and assumed Nike would do everything for us. That was really my job to do. I was sort of asleep at the wheel, and we lost focus, and we became less relevant. Then we got a new CEO in here, and he said, hey man, this brand's amazing. You guys are from Huntington Beach. Why don't you ever say that? Do you have the best board shorts in the world? And I said, hey, no, they're not very good. And he goes, let's make the best board shorts in the world. You're a surfer, right? I'm like, yeah, I love surfing. He goes, let's be proud of it. Let's just get this brand right, and let's get the culture right. It seems a little lazy around here. Would you agree? And I said, yeah, I agree. We need to dial this place up. So, however many years later, maybe 5 years later, here we are, and the company is very successful. The culture is stronger than ever. The reason to exist is stronger than ever, and we stand for innovation.
Coming up, we take a look at Deuce watches and how they entered the market at the right time. Your next big idea could come from anywhere. For Gary Hughes, it occurred on a trip to China where a wristband caught his attention. He took what he saw and brought the idea back to the States, creating what is known today as Deuce brand watches.
I was traveling through Asia. I was in Japan, and then I went to China, and I was in Beijing. I was just there for vacation. I went and had seen the Great Wall of China, and after that my tour guide had took me to a massive warehouse where they basically sold anything from hats, scarves, electronics, clothing, anything you can imagine you could buy it in this warehouse in Beijing. And I had walked past a glass case, and I had seen our original series, but very cheap quality, but it was something that caught my attention because I used to wear Livestrong, I used to wear Nike baller bands. I always had something on my wrist, and I bought about 10 of them, and I brought it back with me to San Diego. And from there, I started handing them out to some of my buddies, and I started wearing it myself to the gym and while I was playing basketball, and just got a great response from people in regards to the product. They were asking where they could get it, how did I get it, and then from there, the light bulb went off, and I decided that this could be a product if it was designed right with the best quality, waterproof, and you can customize it.
When he came to me, he's just like, look, I know it sounds crazy, but we're going to take over the world right here. I first off said, you know what, I'm good right now, but let me think about it. And he told me right before he left my apartment, he's like, look, in 6 months, you're going to be working with me. We'll be running this. So next thing I know is that like the next couple days, it's just, I kept thinking in my head all these random contacts that I know for some reason or another, throughout the years, even from college to, I actually lived in Washington, D.C., to coaches that we knew or whoever it might be. It's just like, we can get this product out there.
It's very hard when you don't have a business plan, you have something that's not in the works yet to get funding. So my dad took my back, and he believed in what I believed in. He believed in my passion, and he got my back, and he started me out with my initial investment. And that initial investment was $250,000. I started Deuce out of the back of my condo. That's how I got started. And then I had two of my guys, they jumped on board and they started helping me. And then, Tom jumped on board, became president of our company. And I think that was the best thing that I did, was put the right team around us to make the business successful. Because in any business, maybe I'm the one that has the vision. Maybe I'm the one that sees what Deuce can really be. But there's a lot of pieces behind the scenes that go on that I don't handle.
The people who work here, without people driving certain aspects of our business, you can't create a brand. I really think with Deuce brand being located in San Diego, that's really, just put us one step up without us doing anything. We are starting to distribute around the world, and people like to buy Southern California brands. That there's no doubt about that, from Hurley to Oakley to O'Neill's. So it's a great start to be in San Diego in Southern California. But I also think it's, the people who actually work at the company, because really the brand reflects who we are.
As a brand and as an up-and-coming brand, we really harp on quality because we want our product to be able to withstand salt water. We have a lot of surfers that wear our product. We want our product to be waterproof. We want to make sure that anytime anybody's taking a shower, swimming, surfing, any type of water activity, that they can wear their Deuce. And the whole concept was really to make something that's indestructible, lightweight, and that's extremely comfortable. So that way, whatever sport you're doing, or even if you're just chilling wearing the jeans and the tee, this is a watch that you can have on your wrist, and you really don't even know it's there.
We travel a lot, and that's even just on our spare time. I've had the opportunity to go to different places and see what's cool, different trends. Obviously, Rasta's really hot right now. We came out with the Rasta watch about 6 months ago, and we developed it and brought it out, and the market loves it. So I really think that we go to other parts of the world and actually see what's cool there, and then try to bring that back to the States.
I've always had my own twist and my own take on things, but I always look at what other brands are doing, and then I try to remix it based on how I feel. So when I'm designing Deuce, it's really looking at other brands, seeing what they're doing, but also coming up with my own twist of it. The other thing is just having our bands and our silicone reinforced. We spent a lot of time finding the best silicone, not only from a durability standpoint, but also from a color standpoint. We wanted to be able to customize any color, match any Pantone color, combine colors, swirl colors.
We come with a lot of different color combinations, and with these color combinations, I think it's really what people wear with it. The whole Generation Y, here in San Diego, we're talking about, skate and surf and, music and sports. People love to be colorful, and even if you're working out, people want to look good.
And the other part of it is really designing something that's very sporty and that's very urban, because that's kind of what our brand is all about.
Through the many events that Deuce sponsors, they've been able to get their message to not only adults, but also to kids who find their product to be cool. Whether it's on the ramps or on the court, Deuce is there.
So I played football and basketball, ran track, played baseball as well. And the number 2 was the number that I always wore. So I wanted to create something with Deuce that was personal to me, but also Deuce is really relevant in the sports industry. So anybody that wears the number 2 is usually referred to as Deuce. And then also in tennis, if you're trying to win a set or a game or a match, Deuce is the next point to win. Also, the concept behind Deuce was in the urban world, chuck a deuce or throw a deuce. We wanted to relate that back to our product, the watch, because it just goes hand in hand. So when anybody's throwing a deuce, they always got their watch on.
You'd be like, hey, is that a Deuce brand? And people would actually, say, hey, it's a Deuce, give us a peace sign. That's some cool stuff when you're driving down the street in Virginia and somebody's doing that to you and we're out of San Diego. We've created a brand that actually people are paying attention to. People that, on this coming week, we actually have the number 1 pick in the NBA draft coming. That's, for us, that's really cool, and that stuff just still surprises us that we've drawn so many eyes to our brand and that are interested in working with us in various different ways. But those are surprising stuff that keeps us coming into work and wanting to work harder.
Our first 6 months of our business, we did so many gifting suites to get our product on celebrities and to get it out there so people could really see it. And that really helped us, push the brand further because, it was really about who was wearing it, and that helped us a lot to get into some of the outlets and things like that we're in.
We actually, make sure that the athletes that we personally know get the product. This product is something that people like, so it makes it very easy for people to wear it. So I'd say that, making sure that the right tastemakers have the product. Once they have those, a lot of people actually follow the trend. Another way that we market the product is, through social media. I think that's a big part for Gen Y. We actually have created a Deuce Day, which is every Tuesday, and it's actually 22% off of our website. But what happens on Deuce Day is that we put certain phrases where people can retweet that to win a free watch. And we've been doing it for about 8 months now, and it's very exciting to see the reaction that every Tuesday comes around. People already know, even before we start launching it here on the West Coast, there might be people on the East Coast that are already tweeting it's Deuce Day, happy Deuce Day, which is really cool to see.
Being a relatively new company, Deuce knows that they need an edge. So to keep the brand thriving, they participate in multiple trade shows every year and create partnership with companies that will strengthen their reputation.
Kind of our game plan was to introduce our products at trade shows. And trade shows are the best way for you to be able to meet potential buyers, build relationships with partners, different things like that. So a big part of our sales, I would say, came from trade shows, from meeting people at shows and discussing our product face to face.
I can remember our first event was last March, and it was the Clash at Claremont. We'd actually teamed up with Grind for Life, and we made a custom watch, but that's a big skate event here in Claremont. Had people like Tony Hawk and Andy McDonald and a couple other different riders, but we've done Clash at Claremont twice. We were very fortunate to team up with LRG, and they actually took us under their wing. We went to the 2010 NFL draft at their showroom, had a lot of people come over there, met a lot of different athletes there. We've done the X Games with ESPN Rise and Jay Corbin. We've also done the Mercury Insurance Open. It's a tennis tournament here. Obviously, Deuce is synonymous with tennis. We've also worked a number of different events up in LA, and that was, we've teamed up with EA Sports and a Kobe Bryant event. We've done the NAACP awards, the Oscars, the Emmys, you name it. We've been on the road hitting the pavement in order to get the Deuce brand name out there.
We've established agreements with the NCAA. We've established an agreement with the NBA, Susan G. Komen. We are all about partnering with other companies that will help us put up roadblocks that our competitors would not be able to touch. The fact that we can customize this watch for the NBA, the fact that we can customize this watch with a pink breast cancer logo, a 90-year-old woman would wear this watch.
We feel like we can set up a company that is recognized around the world. And I think the ultimate goal is to make a mark in action sports.
If you ask me 5 years from now where I see Deuce as a sports fashion apparel company and accessory company. So I see us selling not only watches, but soft goods, bags, hats, t-shirts, and also getting into doing fitness gear. If you're saying 10 years, I would like to say that maybe in 10 years, Deuce brand is on a level as a Nike or an Adidas. That's our ultimate goal.
For updates and prizes, follow us on Twitter at WTB Show.
This episode was made possible by Qualcomm. Qualcomm celebrates Southern California's most innovative thinkers. To learn more about the entrepreneurial ideas and bold imaginations that drive the future of digital communications, visit Qualcomm.com.